of those various states. Even that's not an easy task. And then mergers and acquisitions that puts you in contact with a lot of people, high-level people, C-level people, et cetera. That's pretty interesting.
Yep. Yeah.
Well, creative, high level and creative, could be in any area that you choose. Any path you choose, you can decide to be creative, and you can try to push yourself to the best of your abilities, whether you're making puppets or, taking photographs or painting or being a trial lawyer, which I wasn't, by the way. I didn't spend much time in court. I guess I never really liked the combative side of being a lawyer.
Yes, it
very
is.
combative.
Oh, gosh.
Very combative. By definition, by the way, you're going out to war. You're representing your client, and it's combat. So where was I in the story? So the itch came back.
Yeah, your transition going from attorney and moving more towards the direction of becoming an artist.
True. Look, I always drew. I always held a pencil or a piece of charcoal in my hand. When I was in California, I took some courses in Berkeley. I just always felt but I didn't have much time, and most of my energy and my time were devoted to the law. I came back here at some point. The itch started, and I said, "No, I can't. It's not. I don't want to be doing this anymore. I don't want to be doing the law anymore." Time was up. It was time for me to go back to art, I guess. So I just went to art school.
See, that's
here in
really
Israel,
nice.
4 years of it. Yeah.
That's really nice that you're transitioning and how you reinvent yourself, which seems to be something that you did so gracefully.
Thank you.
How can you do that? You're welcome. How can you do that? Because it's such an extreme of, being a lawyer, which is very, to me, I feel like I know it's creative in one sense, but in another way, you have to be very
demanding
logical
of your time.
And demanding of your time.
Yeah.
And then the switch, how could you transition so gracefully like that?
Well, first of all, thank you. I wouldn't say myself whether the transition was graceful or not, but I do like the thought of something being graceful. I think when something's done gracefully, it's probably being done right. But I guess it was just time. It was natural. I was coming back to something that was familiar, and it was a part of me all along. Mm-hmm. And we have so many different, parts of ourselves and things we might develop if we had the opportunity, the inclination, when the time is right, when we meet the right person, see what I'm saying? So I guess the time was right. Well, I did it.
Life happens, and it's
life happens.
Yeah, and it's very important. You probably learned that when you were living the bohemian life. But it's very important for people, I think, anyway, to listen to that still small voice inside. And if you listen to it very carefully, it tells you when one door is closing and another one's opening, if you just pay attention. Because obviously it was time for you to move on from law. And a lot of people would be afraid to do it. They just would be they'd go, oh man, I worked so hard. I went to school. I got all this education. And I'm successful at it. And now all of a sudden, I'm going to leave that, close that door, and move into being an artist. Congratulations on that one.
Thank you very much. And I think you're absolutely right that if you listen carefully, you definitely can hear doors closing and opening, and they do, and they will, and even late in life. And, it doesn't mean you have to turn your whole life upside down or say goodbye to one thing. You can make space for a creative pursuit, even if you keep your day job. So, but definitely doing something creative can keep you alive and young and happy, and you meet other people who are creative that way. So it's also a very interpersonal thing to do. I think it's very important to continue to let those doors open in your life, no matter what stage and what point you are in your life.
Well, interesting thing, some of those doors slam us on our rear end as we're leaving.
It's so true. Oh, gosh.
Time for you to move on, man.
Yeah, you're done here.
I want to ask, when we were exploring your life as an artist, when we had original conversations, and I want to get too political here, but during those conversations, and we were trying to figure out how to craft the show, and how our interview and how we were going to talk to you, you were talking to us from your bomb shelter, and I don't think there's too many people, certainly in America, that have that to deal with. Can you tell us how that's a challenge for anybody? How that challenge has impacted your creativity?
How it's impacted? Well, definitely it's part of who I am. When a bomb shelter is something that's a natural part of your life, when you do have memories throughout your life in different stages of, rockets falling, or it becomes part of who you are. I don't literally address things like this in my art, but I am sure that indirectly, by becoming part of, who I am, that it has affected me in my work. I think that being aware of how fragile peace can be and how fragile life can be, you can feel more maybe look, artists should be able to see things as they are, right? The truth.
Right.
They want to be able to have as little as possible in ways of curtains before their eyes, or being able to see life as it is allows your art to be maybe more interesting and diverse and true. And there's many, many different aspects of life that we can be exposed to. The issue of danger, of knowing that, you grow up in an environment where there are, possibly your children may be hurt, the children of your enemy are getting hurt. These are things that when they become part of you, maybe you do become more sensitive and more compassionate, and you can address things that could be. Maybe I'll just give one example, and this is not direct. Again, I don't literally draw paintings. I don't paint paintings of war and peace. But
no, you don't.
In the
your art is very
very
sensitive.
far from that, right?
Yeah, very sensitive. But go on. I don't want to go on. What were you going to say?
I was just thinking, and actually I'm thinking as we talk, in the past year or so, since the pandemic broke out, and also since, there was a little unrest, I have been obsessively drawing my swans in motion. There is a lot of migration and movement and clusters of swans moving, and I think a lot of it has to do with the feeling that things aren't permanent and they're constantly migrating and they're constantly moving, and nothing should be taken for granted. And I think that is a way that a bomb shelter can indirectly manifest itself. So it's not literal, but definitely this deep, deep feeling that nothing can be taken for granted, and people, everything is in motion. So
well, it gives you a sense of security, but you don't really want to be there.
What does?
The being in the bomb shelter gives you a sense of security for a brief moment, but you really want to be out. You want to be free, like your swans.
Absolutely, you don't want to be in the bomb shelter. Mm-hmm. But understanding that there is a bomb shelter situation, when you're outside of it, then you feel the freedom very distinctly.
And that's
right?
what
that's what I mean.
What the swans are doing.
Mm-hmm.
That's what the swans have been doing now, I guess. Yeah. I'm not sure. You should say, or maybe ask me in 3 years.